Good morning. Welcome to Energy Works. Today we're talking about tips for life. And I'm really hoping that you have some great tips to share and that you feel that you're comfortable enough to share, and things that you have learned and things that you felt have been a wonderful hack to your life. So I saw a couple of tips on the Facebook group. One was this too shall pass, and I think that's a very important thing to remember when we're going through difficulties and when we feel that life is difficult. And I think what we find is like one aspect of our life can be okay and then other parts can fall apart, and it's like we never have it all sunshine and lollipops at the same time. So I guess trusting that whatever difficulty you're going through right now will pass, and that you will eventually get to the point that you can be okay with whatever life presents to you. And I don't think there's ever a rule book big enough to help us get through life unscathed. So if you're on the call, please say hello. I'd love for you to comment and to, tell us what tips you have for life. Now, this is a kind of random tip. There's a guy called Wim Hof, not that I've read all his stuff or done all his stuff, but he's known as the Iceman. And he was able to train his mind and through his breathing to be able to sit in ice water for quite a length of time without shivering or, without feeling uncomfortable. So he believes that anybody can do that. And he believes that he can train all of us to do that. And so my closest thing to having a go at that is at the end of a shower, I have like 30 seconds of cold. And some days I feel more enthusiastic about it than others. And some days I'm counting a little quicker than others. So if we were to talk about where is your body complaining, let's hear it today, and what aspects of your life are not in order, and, how can we help you, and what tips might you have for us? I think the other tip that I would have to say is important is considering what you're prompted to do, who you're prompted to help. Inspired action, I think, is a wonderful thing. And there was a story of a young girl that got some nice fabric, and she made a tie for a church leader. And she went to go and take it to his house, and then she knocked on the door, and then she felt like, oh, no, they wouldn't need it, and, she'd chicken out. So she went to turn away, and then the wife of this leader caught her and said, oh, come in. And they were, very happy to receive the tie that she'd made. And she said to this girl, don't ever turn away a charitable thought. So when you're inspired to do something charitable, you need to take action, and also need to trust that if you're inspired to do that you're divinely inspired, and you'll be divinely helped to do that. And even if it may cost you time or effort or money, that you will be reimbursed for sure, and not that that's the reason to do it. Okay, so another tip for life might be, are you getting enough sleep? Sometimes it can be difficult to sleep, and for some people, particularly the time of menopause, can be a time for tricky sleep. So there's a book by Leslie Kenton called Passage to Power, and she talks about different aspects of menopause, the good and the bad. And she used to talk about, not being able to sleep, and so she would get up in the night and she would go and do all sorts of wonderful things when she couldn't sleep. So it's like taking advantage of whatever aspect of your life is happening. There will be some difficulties, but there will also be some good parts of that. All right, and now I'm just going to clear a bit of energy while we're waiting for people to comment or to jump on. So if we talk about chakras, is the solar plexus chakra is about our ambition and our power and our ability to go take action on the things that we feel are important. And even if we can only take a little baby step, take that baby step. Don't give up. All right. And also, this is what comes up. This is from Jenny Rosengren's book, Over 1,000 Categorized Positive and Negative Beliefs, and she categorizes them into chakras. So the affirmation is, it is easy to stay in the present moment. And sometimes it is not easy. And sometimes we have to talk quite firmly to ourselves and say, what is happening now is not what happened in the past. It won't spiral downward into what happened in the past. So learning, to be mindful of what your thoughts are and bringing them back to now. And also what comes up is, I am creating balance in my schedule. And sometimes we can schedule ourselves to death, that we leave no time for enjoyment or relaxation or going out in nature or doing some exercise or, having a time of prayer and thinking or pondering. So it's like making sure that we allow time for downtime or self-care time. All right, I'm faithful and believing. And I guess that's another life tip, isn't it? That what we focus on is what we put energy into and what comes about. So it's like we need to focus on the things that we want out of life, not the things that are negative. And so some days it's hard to do that. Some days we can only see the negative in front of us. All right, my life is one success after another. All right, so Catherine's mentioned she has a pain in her right leg near her knee when she walks. All right, thanks, Catherine. Age 7 comes up. Some stuck emotions. That knee. Feeling shy. I think about that Marianne Williamson poem about, who are we not to shine? And I think that's very important, that we be who we are, even if not everyone might get us, not everyone is our tribe, not everyone will understand exactly what we feel or mean, and it's still important to do what we feel is right. And even if only 5 people need it, that's important for those 5 people. All right, so let's go the opposite of shy. I'm gregarious, friendly, and appropriately assertive. So appropriately assertive is weak. So this is a generational problem from dad's side, dad's mum's side, and the men. All right, and also something in your back, T6. So that's the wiring to your stomach and your ability to, affects your ability to digest life and your experiences. We're using the Siegel's book. And she goes through every spinal segment and talks about what it means and all sorts of other parts of the body too. Her book's called The Secret Language of Your Body. All right, carrying stresses. Believing you have to stay in a situation because there is no choice. I guess we always have a choice. We may not feel we have a choice, and sometimes we can be held in place by old belief systems that we've developed in childhood, or even generational belief systems that have been developed from experiences that are way different to ours, and yet we still want to hold on to that same way of thinking. So if we think about a life tip out of this, it's like, what have I been thinking that is not really correct? What have I been thinking that is just old habit? So indigestion comes up here, and weight problems. If we look up fat or weight issues, it comes up with oversensitivity. Often represents fear and shows a need for protection. Fear may be a cover for hidden anger and a resistance to forgive, running away from feelings, insecurity, self-rejection, and seeking fulfillment. Arms, so putting weight on the arms, anger at being denied love. At the belly, anger at being denied nourishment. Hips, lumps of stubborn anger at the parents. Thighs, packed childhood anger, often rage at the father. So interestingly, often when we put on weight, it's like we're eating to build a fort around ourselves so that people can't hurt us. So let's look up knees. All right, so knees also represent pride and ego. and won't give in is what also comes up. So if we say I'm okay with my weight problem or my knee problem or my digestive problem or whatever problem we have right now, if we say I'm okay with it and it holds strong, and if we say I'm okay with it, you would hope I'm okay without it should be strong, but it's not. So sometimes we are hanging on to a problem because we need to learn something from it. So maybe that's another life tip. Whatever things that our body points us to, it's something that needs to be examined. And often there's childhood baggage stuck in there or previous experiences that are preventing us from feeling that we can move forward. Right, also hiding in the knees, generational issues, dad's side, dad's mum, and the women on that side. And some stuck emotions in there. All right, unable to perceive clearly and correctly. And I guess I think about, in childhood or, in maybe as early adult, you make decisions and you would like people to accept the decisions that you make, but sometimes your family are not okay with the decisions that you make and they want to enforce their will. And so I guess, I can feel hurt about how that might have gone down in my family, or you might feel like that in your family. And then when our children do that to us, we feel also hurt. So it's like learning to understand, well, what am I supposed to learn from this situation? So let's go into the heart chakra. So the heart chakra is about loving and forgiving, and also the circulatory system. Sadness is coming up here in the heart. What's sad for you? And also allergies. What are you having allergies to? When we do our Energy Works course, we talk about all the things that you can have allergies to, things that you ate or breathed or contacted or drank. Electromagnetic radiations, your feelings, when our body becomes a bit toxic, that garbage. We can also have reactions to things in our home, whether it's off-gassing or chemicals that we use, and also invaders, so like viruses, parasites, fungal infections, bacteria. And of course, there are entities and other negative things. Okay, so someone's mentioned hives. Okay. So let's just have the affirmation, life works for me. All right, also what's coming up is insatiable yearning. So what are you yearning for? So an oil comes up here, so black spruce. Now, it's not one I know heaps about, so let's look that up. All right, black spruce is about stability. Black spruce is an ally in dealing with fear, especially subconscious generational fears. All individuals hold genetic and DNA memories from generations that have gone on before. At times, individuals may struggle under the weight of fears that didn't originate with them. Black spruce helps them gain clarity about fear-based memories and release them from the mind and body, freeing themselves and others in the process. So you might use this to help feel balanced. And another one you might use as well is cedarwood. And cedarwood's about community and feeling like we belong. So cedarwood brings people together to experience the strength and value of community. Those in need of cedarwood struggle to form bonds within social groups. This can often be due to an overdeveloped sense of individuality. Rather than allowing themselves to be supported by family, friends, or community, they live by excessive self-reliance. On the other hand, the individual's difficulty forming social roots may also stem from feeling disconnected and separate from the human family. Cedarwood inspires the feeling of belonging and assists the heart in opening to receive the love and support of other people. It invites the strong-willed individual to couple the strength of individuality with the supportive power of community. So cedarwood supports individuals in seeing that they are not alone. Life is a shared experience. Cedarwood also assists in opening the awareness of individuals to the support system that's already available to them, such as friends and family that have been overlooked. It invites individuals to both give and receive, so they may receive the strength of groups and the joy of relationships. So I know I do that myself when I'm not feeling okay. I want to withdraw and I want to almost, put a big little tent around myself and not let anybody in. But if we are able to open up and be a little bit vulnerable, people then understand us and they are vulnerable with us then and will communicate with us. And that's how we develop communities where we do speak a little bit more openly. And often if we think about the community that we do have family and friends that may or may not be available. But we think about our generational family, the people who have gone before us, they love us and care for us and have experienced similar bodies and DNA. They know how we feel and they really want us to feel okay and to get past the problems that we're struggling with. So remember that even if you may not have direct help immediately, that you have generational help. All right, which is going to jump us up into the crown chakra. All right, so, and if we talk about another tip, it's always, okay, God, however you want to speak to deity, what do you want me to do today? How would you have me help someone? And if you ask that, you help make connections to other people through allowing yourself being vulnerable to connect to people and also allowing them to be vulnerable, accepting help. All right, so when the crown chakra is not functioning correctly, we can see ourselves as separate, which is kind of fitting in with our theme, isn't it? So we all really are family, aren't we? We all belong to our Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother, and we're spirits getting the opportunity to come here to the University of Physical Life and understanding that we have purpose and there's a reason for us to be here, and the people that are around us there for a reason. Sometimes they're around there to drive us nuts and for us to learn from, and sometimes they're there to support us. All right, another oil comes up here. So myrrh. Myrrh is about connection to Mother Earth and I guess Heavenly Mother. So I'm going to use Kim Redmond Futrell's book on the essential affirmations. All right, my base chakra is activated, resonant and protecting. I'm safe to move forward. I ease my sorrow and grief, stepping into soothing solitude. And soothing solitude is way different from desperate loneliness. Solitude is also about that connection divinely, connection to Mother Earth, to help dispense some of that angst that we feel. Feeling the warmth and security of a mother's love for her child, I feel safe and secure in my being. I let go of fear and the old habits of overthinking and worry as the mental distractions they are. I am faith-filled and trusting. And I think things can only change in our life if we do have faith and we do have the ability to trust that they can be different. All right, I am worthy of divine connection regardless. I am enough regardless of what I own. I allow myself to be led by God. I am fun and spiritual. My electrical circuitry and brain chemistry work in harmony for my highest good. I allow myself to be peaceful and balanced. Also, let me go back into Jenny's Rosenberg's book. Still in the crown chakra. So I can't stress enough how important that connection is. All right, I am a spiritual being having an earthly experience. This is what comes up as well, ignoring what needs to happen because I just don't want to know. And sometimes we just don't want to know. It's hard to deal with what the truth is. But I feel often if things are difficult, knowing the full depth of the problem helps us to be able to get a handle on it and to actually make a difference and to have a plan of attack, or maybe a plan of survival might be closer to the mark. All right, I am easily assimilating all my life experiences. I'm integrating the higher aspects of myself. My nerves and intercellular pathways are connecting. I am thriving, fueled by positive energy. All right, age 3 comes up. Where were you? What were you doing when you were 3? What happened? Okay, now we're going to go into one of the higher chakras, but actually this one's lower, but the 8th chakra goes into the ground. It's actually under the 1st chakra, and it actually goes a meter into the ground. So it's like we are actually connected to the earth. And sometimes we feel awful when we don't have that earth connection. All right, when the 8th chakra opens, there's a connection to all living things, plants, animals, the earth itself. It is the window to the healing of the planet. All right, an awareness of yourself as an integral part of the earth, not just a part of your small corner of the world. So I guess if we think we're all family, it's like the earth is all our home and we all have to take care of our home. All right, so sometimes we can misplace our way of thinking of taking care of that home in that we need to conquer our home. Sometimes we might need to conquer the weeds in our backyard. All right, and also what's coming up here is holding value in our possessions and status. And I guess, often we have great lessons in humility, that the things that we base our pride on are often taken away from us, and that we have to learn to be okay with who we are without anything else to hang our hat on. All right. What's coming up here too is eating raw foods, especially straight from the garden. So I don't have much of a garden, so I might have to get some pots and start growing things in pots. Affirmation, the earth is alive. And the other one that comes up here is I make a difference. And sometimes we might have to imagine as we're going to sleep, and I think that's a very good time. And another good tip for life is to talk to yourself firmly as you're going to sleep about, what is important to you and how you want to feel. And I guess if you can imagine someone thanking you for making a difference, thanking you for your efforts and for your ability to live your life in such a way that you inspire other people. And if we talk about another life tip, that would be doing what you love and being rewarded for doing what you love. So it's like the win-win. If we say, I believe there is a win-win, that doesn't hold strong. Age 17, 20, 33, 43, 46. Okay. You might just look up high just for a second for you, Sowen. What's coming up here is fears that are finally surfacing. It's almost like the thing that we fear will happen, and it's like we have to learn to face our fears and to understand what we need to learn from these fears and overcoming the fears. What also comes up under hives is wanting to protest but can't. Okay, so our next Energy Works get-together will be the 19th of June, and you're welcome to come. Bring a plate if you're local. You're welcome to share, any podcasts with anyone you feel that needs it. And, if you feel stuck and that you can't get past the hole that you're in, you can book a clarity call. It's about 20 to 30 minutes. It's free. Go to www.calendly.com Tony Ormsby /clarity call, and you can book in a time. Catherine said, well, you talked a lot about me today. I must be the most needy one here. Thank you. We're all needy, Catherine, and I think a lot of these things apply to all of us. Well, I hope you have an amazing day and that you're able to be your best self, and that you think about the tips for life and the things that help you to feel like you're accomplishing your purpose. You're here for a reason. The things that are in your heart are there for a reason, and I want you to follow what's in your heart. Okay, thank you. See you.